It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. I think this is our third go-around.
It is.
I really appreciate you being here, Tom.
No, it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Let me talk about this. I'm just going to give you 3 words. All-day kindergarten.
No, and that was a focus of my State of the State. Education has always been a priority for me. I was just reading at Lake Elementary School this morning to a group of 4th graders. But all-day kindergarten is something that I want to expand in the state of Nevada. We put a $20 million investment into that. We will have all-day K in almost half the schools, and it's beginning with the at-risk schools. You know, it just plays into my other priority, which is read by 3, that every child be at grade level for reading by the time they reach 3rd grade, and all-day kindergarten will be an important component to help achieve that goal.
Now, why did you pick the groups that you did, or the places that you did to expand this?
We consulted with the school districts, the superintendents, with Dr. Jones, and where it would have the most meaningful impact, and that was the recommendation that we received.
Full-day kindergarten is about the best investment you can make in education, isn't it?
Well, amongst many things. I don't know if you can. There are several different things that we're doing for K through 12 education, but obviously all-day K is, we want the kids to get started on the right foot, and we think that all-day K can go a long way in terms of getting them going and improving the graduation rates.
What have been the results in other states where you've done your research about this?
Well, we think like, for example, the state of Florida, they've had some good results there. And if you look at the literature, most of the literature indicates that it does provide a great opportunity for the kids.
You know, several years ago, it seems to me the subject came up, and there was a hue and cry against it. What happened?
You get a lot of different debate, and sometimes there's some confusion between mandatory kindergarten and all-day kindergarten, but historically there has been some debate about all-day K. There's been some concern perhaps by some parents that the kids are going to full-day school at too early or tender of an age, but I think given where the state is right now and where we need to go, I think it's important that we begin this process of expanding all-day K.
This may be an unfair question, but of all of the things you look at, where is the priority for education? 1st, 2nd, 10th?
You can't focus, I believe, in one place, and so we've talked about all-day K. There's also going to be an emphasis on ELL, early language learners. I'm also working on some high school programs, the Jobs for America's Graduates, the JAG program, also expanding Teach for America. This classroom that I visited at Lake Elementary School today had a Teach for America former Teach for America teacher who's now decided to stay in the Clark County School District, a tremendous teacher, and this is a 4-star school right here in Clark County. But I think it's important that we work at both ends. This JAG is a program by which we will you take the most at-risk kids at the most at-risk high schools, and they get to choose the vocation that they're most interested in. They are all case managed by a special teacher who is there in the classroom to help them work their way through the system. This is the first time in the state of Nevada. This is a program that was started in Delaware over 30 years ago. They take kids that are graduated at about a 50% rate and get them up into the 90s, so it's been tremendously successful. We've piloted it in 6 high schools, and so far it's worked out extremely well.
You know, you weren't even born at this time, but I graduated from Las Vegas High School in '56. I went back through my yearbooks, and it seemed to me that of the kids that started as freshmen, 80 or 90% of them finished. Now we're at 50%. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah, and I think it's a little better than 50%, but that's still not acceptable. And that's part of it, is ensuring that every child is career ready or college ready. I think that, I'm sure you would agree, that there were a lot of opportunities within Nevada and within the game industry and other areas to be able to make some money and not have to finish high school. I think the kids are seeing now that their chances of success dramatically increase if you get that high school diploma and then go on to get a certification within a certain vocation. So that is going to be the emphasis for us now, is to ensure that every child is college ready or career ready.
How are you going to get the parents to really participate and not only be interested, but to do something about it?
Well, and that's a great question. That's always been the million-dollar question. But I will tell you this, is I attend the JAG ceremonies. They have an induction ceremony. As I said, after you go to these at-risk high schools and they choose the most at-risk kids, they have an induction ceremony. And the last one that I attended, there were probably 100 parents there, and the key is just to making sure that they're engaged, and we talked about that in this class that I was in today at Lake Elementary, to ensure that your parents are working with you on your homework, reading, those types of things. But it's something that I message everywhere I go. I
had somebody, and I won't tell you who it was, tell me that even those kids that started with all-day kindergarten, as opposed to the kids that didn't have all-day kindergarten, by the time they got to 3rd grade, they were all even. So that full-day kindergarten was really a waste of time.
And there's some dispute, and I understand. I believe it's the Nevada Policy Research Institute has put out some of the information with regard to that. And I'd rather err on the side of ensuring that they have that all-day K, and particularly in the at-risk schools, we're hopeful that we can expand it in the future, but we think we've maximized what we can do, particularly here in Clark County. I truly want to improve the graduation rates. And it's an old cliche, they learn to read by the time they hit 3rd grade, and then they read to learn thereafter. And if a child's not reading by the time they hit 3rd grade, they're going to be behind and more likely to drop out than not.
Tomorrow, another question. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.